once notorious for gang violence, crime and unrest. He believes better training methods, more police stations and stronger community engagement has cut crime.
We can see a lot of improvement. For example, in 2008, we record about 284 cases criminal. And 2009, we reduced it to the 184. And 2010, it's still in the same numbers.
Chief Superintendent Da Costa claims East Timor's districts are now secure and says focus should turn to building more infrastructure.
I'm confident that now the police can, National Police of Timor-Leste, they can assume responsibility, and then they can, also they can provide security to the people of Timor-Leste, because we have learned from the experience that occurred in 2006.
That year, political tensions split the fledgling nation's police and defence force into opposing factions, triggering violence that killed 37 people and put East Timor on the brink of civil war. 100,000 citizens were displaced, including Osvaldo Guterres, who fled to safety inside East Timor's UN compound.
I ran away with one shirt and nothing in our hands. Our house was burnt down. I was emotional and traumatized and could only think about saving my life. We heard gunfights between the two forces from our compound, and it made us think, should we flee or stay in Dili?
Australian and New Zealand peacekeepers arrived to restore stability, the latest in a string of foreign forces here since East Timor split from Indonesia in 1999. Now East Timor wants them to leave after national elections in December next year. Deputy Prime Minister José Luís Guterres believes East Timor must look after its own security to be taken seriously in the international community.
As East Timorese, we have to take care of our own affairs. And also we believe that there are competing needs also in other regions, in other continents. And maybe the resources that the UN have been invested in Timor can be also implemented in South Sudan and other countries, in Haiti.
Rebuilding East Timor's police force is the main focus of the United Nations in their third mission here since the country's independence. 1,500 police mentor, assess and conduct joint patrols with local officers in projects nationwide. But that will likely end by March. District by district, the UN has been handing authority back to local brigades.
This is made on a criteria that was commonly agreed between the United Nations and Timor-Leste. This process, it assures us that it is not based on a timeline, but based on the criteria. So once the district or unit meets the minimum criteria to conduct on itself police operations, then the resumption takes place.
Today, the capital Dili is as calm as the coastline. The UN police herald this peace as their greatest success, a legacy signalling the dawn of a new era.
This plan that we have to provide good security is there. For sure, you had the chance to witness the feeling of security, the people in the streets, the movement. And this is the best indicator that Timor-Leste is a safe place.
UN police may help provide law and order, but this mission costs $200 million a year. The International Crisis Group question how effectively the UN has reformed local officers. They believe the UN police contingent should be reduced by half.
One of the negative effects of the UN having held on to that policing responsibility for so long is that it hasn't necessarily encouraged the Timorese police to take responsibility for systemic problems that do need reform.
Reforms like making police more accountable, something the ICG believes hasn't happened. For example, no police officer has been convicted or punished for their role in the 2006 violence.
I think one consistent concern for many residents of Dili and elsewhere in the country is that there isn't a sufficient response to allegations of police misconduct. There are a number of forums in which people can bring forward those complaints, but it's not always clear that those complaints are followed up. Even though investigations are launched and we read about those in the papers, the results of them aren't made public. The police don't seem to be punished in a way that is commensurate with the crime that they may have or the misconduct they may have committed.
Despite few external security threats, East Timor's police are using high-powered weapons and training with the local army, something the UN does not support. East Timor's government says it knows how to best police the country.
Even the UN, they in the public statement always mention that reforms has to be owned, local owned. And we have done our best to give all our the leadership and in the reform of the defense and security sector. And I must say also that UN has been very helpful.
But for citizens like Osvaldo, destroyed houses from the 2006 violence serve as a reminder of what can happen when local forces are back in control.
Okay, I'm Timor.
We Timorese are upset and very scared. We feel the UN are withdrawing too quickly. With elections in 2012, we think many of the political leaders will do what it takes to win power, and we feel our Timorese police can't solve our own problems.
The 2008 assassination attempt on the country's president and prime minister, as well as violence in the last election, shows politics in this tiny country is hotly contested and very personalised. Local security analysts like Nelson Bello believe police are still used as a tool by competing political powers.
Reform the police is based on their political interests to protect their goals. It's going to drive the police away from the law that's been passed. Then make police is only obey to the several people, obey to protect the several people and ignore the others.
But the government assert many institutional reforms within the police force have addressed corruption and wages, political sparks for 2006.
First was to improve the living conditions, improving salaries. We did also laws in order to, for their progress in career, in a way that the promotions cannot be politicized, but based on the merits. Another issues are related to development of infrastructures.
But in Baucau, the local police superintendent says equipment shortages remain a serious issue. Police communicate using their phones instead of walkie-talkies, and a shortage of vehicles means some emergencies can only be attended to on foot.
We still face some challenges, some problems like communication, transportation, and infrastructure, as well as, and then also some office material, because without the support of the material, it will be very hard for police to perform the task.
Each part of the law to the situation. Okay.
The UN Police Commissioner in East Timor